Hi, and welcome to CyberOne Certification and Training. If you're here for training and support today, but you'd like to learn more about how to get certified as a CyberOne expert, you can reach out to your account manager or email us at support@cb1security.com. Okay, so let's get started. So today we're in vendor management, and we're continuing the how to create assessment templates by showing you how to actually create questions that you can add to your assessment. So we're going to do this in the management platform. And so here we are, and we're in the vendor management tab, in the vendor management module. And what we're going to do is use the plus sign to go to the question library today. And when we open our question library, what we're going to do is go to new question. And here's where we'll begin to build our question set out. So building a question is actually a multiple step process because first we have to add the question and we also want to create a finding so that the system can recognize when a response is incorrect and actually create a finding based upon that incorrect response. And then secondly, we have to add the values of the question. So what is a right answer, a wrong answer, and the risk score based around that. So we're going to show you how to do all of that today. So let's start with a question. So here's our question, and then we get to choose the question type. And most commonly used for assessments is the list, which gives us a yes, no, not applicable answer option. And then we can add any help text here that we so desire, any guidelines or hints. So here we're saying that this question to be answered correctly, the policies must be published, distributed, and approved. And then we're going to create a content source. Just if we're creating a group of questions for an assessment, this content source can be used as a reference point so that all of the questions in the group can have the similar content sources. So this would be test 2020. So question 01, for example, and then you would go test 2020, 02, 03, so on and so forth. We can categorize the finding here. And I'm going to put this one in policies and procedures. We can prioritize this as a finding based upon the risk protocols of the organization. And here we're just filling in all of the finding information. And we can put any notes here if we want. Here I'm labeling it for the audit that we're preparing. And now we can click save. And so that's our question built, but now then what we want to do is add our list values. So first we're going to go in here and we're going to start adding the list values. So the first answer would be yes, that's correct. We can require an attachment. In this case, we would because we want to see the policies. And we can also require a comment in the question also. We can add any help text again. And then we can assign this a risk score. And generally, we assign the risk scores between 1 and 0, 0 being the correct answer, and in this case, the desired answer. And then we're going to finally add how we want this to appear in terms of value. So yes, no, not applicable. So then I'm just going to do save and new because I'm adding my next list value. Next, it will be no. Comment required. We require a comment at this point because we want to know why they don't have policies. And that can be put in the question notes. And there we will then have a risk score of 1. And the sort number, we'll make this number 2. And then we'll do one for not applicable as well. And we'll definitely want a comment for that. And again, the risk score there, if there is a genuine answer for that, that could be 0, or you could decide to assign that as a risk as well. And then we'll make that sort number 3. And then we just save. Those are our 3 options. So now we have list values built for our question. And so we can go back to our question record and see that we've got our list values here. We have our finding in place. And so this question now is ready to go, and we can add this to an assessment template whenever we want. And if we wish to, before we add this to the assessment template, one final thing that we can do is if we want to connect this question to a regulatory, a regulation or standard, we can do that by mapping it to the control library. So we can just click on New Control Library to question map here. We can look up our regulation. I'm going to add this to the ISO, the Leadership and Commitment, or Policies for Information Security. So I'll choose this. And then we can just click Save. And there you see now this question is actually attached to a regulation. So it is covering a control. All right. So that concludes our training for today. Thank you very much.